For this next lesson, we're going to be talking about savings and investments. So you've got this in your notes, big chart. So we're going to look at different types of investments and savings options and what they're used for, where do you get it, how risky are they, and pros and cons of each. So this is more of just an information lesson. So as we get going, let's turn the page over so we can see the chart more easily. And I'll just start by describing these different types of investments. So I've got them divided into basically 3 different groups. And I just want to be upfront with you. These are not all of the savings and investment options that you can find. These are just examples of some of them. So the first one I have here is a regular savings account. So some of you might already have one of these at your bank or financial institution. Basically, when you deposit your money into the bank, they pay you interest. So the longer you leave your money in this bank account, the more interest you're going to earn. Now, a tax-free savings account is the same idea. You put your money into the account and it earns interest. The only difference here is that any interest you earn from this account is not counted as income when you file your income taxes. So for a regular savings account, let's say you earned $200 in interest last year. That counts as income that you have to declare for your taxes, and you get taxed on that $200. Whereas if you earned $200 in interest in a tax-free savings account, you don't have to pay any taxes on that interest that you earned. You just get to keep all of it. Now, there is a catch. There's a limit on how much you can deposit into a tax-free savings account each year. Right now, the limit is $5,500 per year. So you can get these savings accounts at any bank or credit union. The level of risk is low. You're going to have a hard time losing your money when you just put it in a savings account. Savings accounts have insurance on them, so if the bank messes up, you still can keep your money. The possible return, so we're talking about interest. The amount of interest that you get is called a return on your investment, and that also is low. So these are safe, but they have a low return. So pros, safe, easy, and you can access your money anytime you want to. A con would be you get a low return, or the interest is low. So the next 2 are similar. So I have a guaranteed investment certificate, or a GIC. You might have heard of those. There's also something called a government savings bond, or a Canada savings bond, an Ontario savings bond. Different governments have different savings bonds. So with a GIC, you purchase a GIC from a bank. They keep your money for a certain length of time. After that certain length of time is over, they pay you the principal, the amount you purchased it for, plus interest. A government savings bond is very similar, except instead of buying it from a bank, you're getting it from the government. So you're basically loaning money to the government. And again, after a certain length of time, they'll pay you back with interest. So these are very similar. The key here is that it's a certain length of time that you're investing the money for, and you can't access your money anytime you want to. So if you have a 1-year GIC, for example, you pay whatever amount of money for that GIC, and you can't get your money back until the year's over. If you want your money back earlier, you will have to pay a penalty, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of earning interest anyway. So you can purchase these GICs or government savings bonds at a bank or a credit union. The level of risk is low. The possible return, well, it's still pretty low, but it could possibly be a little bit higher than a savings account. Pros, these are safe, and you get a little bit higher interest than a savings account. Major cons, though, it's still a low return, and you can't access your money for a certain length of time. The third kind of grouping that I have are stocks or mutual funds. So stocks are when you buy shares in a company. If the company makes money, the value of the share goes up. If the company loses money, the value of the share goes down. You make money by selling your shares. So for example, if I bought a share in a company for $10 and the value of that company goes up, so they make money, then my share that I bought for $10, maybe now it's worth $15. So now if I sell that share to somebody else, they pay $15 for it. So I've made $5 off of my share. So that's how you make money with stocks. Mutual funds, well, these are basically a financial advisor will invest your money into lots of different stocks so that you're not putting all of your money into one company. They call it diversifying your portfolio. So you would have money invested in a lot of different companies. So when companies do better financially, you can possibly make more money. And when you invest in lots of different companies instead of just one, if one company does poorly but the other ones are doing well, then it kind of evens things out for you. You can purchase stocks through a stockbroker or investment firm. Mutual funds you can get at a bank. So let's talk about risk. Stocks and mutual funds are generally more risky. You have the possibility of losing money. So they're a riskier investment. So it depends on what you're investing your money in. Certain mutual funds are lower risk than others. And certain companies that you invest your money in with stocks are a lot riskier because you don't know how well they're going to do. So level of risk can be in the mid-range to possibly very high. Possible return. Well, you could make a lot of money, but you could also lose a lot of money too. It depends. And that's basically the pros and cons is you could make a lot of money, but you could lose a lot of money as well. So those are some different savings and investment options that you may come across in the future, or maybe it's not a bad idea to get a tax-free savings account set up for yourself right now, and then you can be trying to make that $5,500 contribution each year. Good ideas to start saving early. But when you're looking at different options, you want to take into account the level of risk and choose what you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with a very high risk investment, I would avoid buying stocks. If you're more of a low risk person, then you would want to go with a savings account or GICs or savings bonds, things like that.